Almost forgot that. There we go. So for those of you who were on the last stream, yellow version did not save, it did glitch out. So I'm going to have to reset that. I mentioned that on YouTube really quick, but just figured I'd mention it here. So that was 2.5 hours of game time that just did not get saved. So I'm going to have work on editing that. I see what's doing it. I apologize. It's going to be weird for a couple seconds there. There we go. Fixed it. Sorry about that. That was awkward. I forgot that I was watching a video earlier on YouTube. And I like to make sure that the video is going through on YouTube. But yes. Oof. We are playing Fire Emblem today. I don't have a proper setup like this for it. So, we will be just going through that. Through this. Fire Emblem here is one of my favorite games. I remember playing on Melee, Marth and Roy. I thought they were super cool. Then I found out shortly after they were releasing this game for the US, and I got all kinds of excited for it. So, we'll go ahead and swap over to that so you guys can see what I'm seeing right now. That's not okay. Oh dear. There it goes. Took it a second. I apologize for that. It's been finicky. My computer's not in the best shape right now, so just yesterday I was doing some matches in War Thunder, and in the process of doing those matches, my computer froze twice in the same match, and I basically got booted from the match. I'm hoping it doesn't count against me. I know there are games that do penalize you for that, but I do hope that it doesn't penalize me for that, because I love playing War Thunder, and I literally cannot afford to upgrade my computer right now. So you know, it's just kind of awkward to deal with. Oh, that's one of my favorite classes. Right there. General is one of my favorite classes. I actually plan on at some point making that suit to wear for conventions and things like that. And I know it's kind of an off one just because it's like from this game and maybe one or two others, but I think it would be fun. Gonna make it out of foam. Same thing with like the sword and all that. And go from there. Because I think in this game they can only use the axe and the spear, but in another version they are actually able to use a sword as well. And it does make for a lot of fun. I have been playing Fire Emblem on my Switch, actually. I'm just loading something up really quick. I have this exact one on my Switch because of the Game Boy Advance. It is on there as well, but I'm using my original cartridge right now, just because memories. That and my capture card doesn't work too, so. But either way, I'd be starting from square one. Yeah, a lot of good memories with this game too. Mainly driving down the road and trying to use street lights on it for the Game Boy Advance. And then Yeah. I don't know where I was going with that, to be honest. But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with playing these games again. Got to admit, without a lot of the pixelation on the screen, some of the characters look a lot weirder, because with the line art for the pixels, it just makes more sense. Whoa. Did not mean for that to happen. Doing a bad job of that. So we're going to go ahead and new game it, because I want to start from the beginning. Let's see. Where is it? Is it that one? No. One of these songs is the iconic one, of course. I just don't remember. Was it this one? There it is. That's the one that most people will probably remember, especially from Smash Bros. Because this was the theme that was used in Melee for Fire Emblem characters on the Hyrule Temple map. And I've always liked this song, and I haven't heard it in any of the recent ones. Either I'm missing it, or it's because I'm focused on the name Together We Ride. I'm just not paying attention. Which is in all likelihood a possibility. Just taking care of something really quick because I forgot I had this still running. Didn't remember until I started streaming. So, that's how it always goes, though. But yeah, I love listening to that song. Yeah, lose the suspended data. Yeah, technically, your player character's name here is Mark. I want to try something. I'm going to go with one of my D&D characters for this. Anybody who's been in one of my D&D games would know who this is. But I mainly just want to see something. So while this is rolling, I'm going to take care of this and try to get things done. I apologize again for the awkwardness of doing both of these at the same time. Yeah, that picture looked a lot better on a GBA screen. It looks a lot better on the small screen that I'm looking at now too, but on my whole monitor it just looks really awkward. Okay, I'm gonna let it roll, let you guys read on it. Yeah, I do wish. Did you guys kind of read on it? I'll give you the gist of it after it's all done. The tutorial is very basic and it gets a little frustrating for me, so it's better that I kind of dual task and distract myself. With it all the same. But yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get a good thing going. This one should be able to save. That takes care of that. And we're going to turn that off. Itchy. So if memory serves, the gist of it so far is pretty much you were found unconscious on the plains. Lynn here, last daughter of the Lorca or Lokra tribe, found you and has taken you in and nursed you back to health. She finds your name odd, but that's because she's from a nomadic community that uses different standards. You know, it's like having your name, and you go to another country that doesn't do English-speaking names or understand English definitions for names. And, you know, normal stuff. She then hears a noise, finds out there's two bandits out in the middle of nowhere, or in the middle of her plains that she lives in. And, oh, excuse me. Oh, it's hard to see right now, but right underneath my picture. Actually, let me see if I can move myself. Nope, we're not going to move that. There's no real good spot that's unobstructive, because there's some missions where you start up here, some where you start over here, some over here, some over here, some over here, then, you know, middle. But yeah, Lynn is directly underneath my picture right now. Once I get the green screen up, that should help. But as it stands, I don't have the ability to do that, unfortunately. So, we will go ahead and, yeah, the character model looks exactly the same. That's what I was worried about. Because in both cases you have, like, the two little black dots eyes, brown hair, and then a cloak, and that's it. Just green cloak. So this is going over how battle works. Blue is good, red is bad, green is allied with you but not controllable by you. So you play as a green character because, unlike later games where the player character is also a combatant, such as Robin, or... Oh my god, why have I forgotten their names? Robin's the one that always comes to mind, because the Robin character looks just like this character to me, given the giant robes and all. Where in those games, you know, you're actually... Byleth is another one, Byleth. Corrin. Those are the three I was thinking of. Robin, Byleth, and Corrin. Those are your player characters, and they're able to engage in combat. You can rename them. You always focus as being them first. If your character dies, it's usually game over. Sometimes there's other characters where it's like, hey, this person can't die. Neither can you. So, you know. Hello to the viewer on Twitch. I see an extra, and that makes me happy. But yeah, let's get this going. So yeah, this is just basically teaching you, like, okay. Yeah, so Lynn's at the center of those dots right now, directly underneath. By my rough estimation, about where... Oh, about here, at the moment. There she is. But yeah, I do want to make the suit of armor for the general. I've always loved the general in this game. Oh, time for my favorite dumb thing to do. I don't know why I get such joy out of doing that. Smashy, smashy. But I've just, like, when I first played the game, I thought the characters were cool. I thought Lynn was an interesting character. I thought the later characters such as Matthew and Ella Wood, God, I can't remember, like, anybody's name. We're all pretty cool. Leading up, I was like, wow, these are really well designed. They look really cool. Seeing, like, the standard knights and stuff like that, I was like, oh, these are also cool. And then I saw the general, and I was just like, I want to be that. Back then, I was like this big. Used to be really, really short, so it was cool seeing this just massive meat wall of a character. To be fair, I'm not much taller now. I mean, I'm taller, obviously, but you know, it's just like, I'm not as tall as, like, these characters come off, but we don't really have, like, a good height comparative for the characters in game, except for on occasional pictures. And from my memory, you don't really ever get to see the general separate from everything else. And I mean, I would figure, like, the named characters are probably going to be less generic in their heights. But, you know, I feel like a standard bandit is probably smaller than, like, Bat of the Beast there. I keep forgetting that, like, I've played through this a lot, but that doesn't mean that everybody else has seen it as much as I have. But I feel like Bat of the Beast would be bigger than the regular bandit that she killed at first, but with the pixel graphics, it's like, it's hard to tell. Alright, bye. Thank you for stopping by, other viewer on Twitch. Big preach. I know I talk too much. But yeah. Lorca. Yep, Lorca, that's what it is. Boop. Yeah, I love the Fire Emblem characters. One thing that did throw me off a little bit about the most recent one, which was Engage. At least I think it was Engage. The point I'm getting at is for Fire Emblem Engage, I found it interesting how like they got rid of the marriage system that was in the games before it. But like, it's not necessarily a terrible thing. It's just, it threw me off because, like, way back here, there wasn't the marriage system. It's just everybody got friendlier with each other. Where it was like C rank, B rank. I don't even know if they had that back at this point, actually. I know that they have certain characters that can talk to each other. Usually when it comes to like recruiting, new characters. So, sometimes it doesn't matter who. It's like, hey, we're fighting the good fight. Oh, okay. But then there's some characters where it's like, wait, I know you. Only I can talk to you. And I'll convince you to join us. Anybody else who talks to you is just going to get ignored. And things like that. And I do find that interesting. That's one of the things that they do in the game. I think that that's a really good way to make sure you try to keep your units alive, because in a lot of the games, like in this introductory sequence here, the prologue, you can't lose your characters permanently. You learn that they can be defeated in battle. You learn how they can be defeated in battle. But up until it turns into the blue one, like the save file above the one that we're on. Oh, man. Whew. Oh, my apologies. Right. So you can't lose them permanently in this early section. So with the exception of Lynn losing the battle, which would be an automatic game over since she is the protagonist of this and has to make it all the way through. If I were to lose, say, one of the two knights that you saw running up the map towards where Lynn was headed, which is Bulgar, the biggest city in all of Sais. Sake? I've always called it Sais, and I don't know why. So yeah, this guy, which he shows up in a few games actually. Kent and Sane are the two knights here. This one is Sane. Kent and Sane show up in a few of the games. I don't remember all of them for sure, but I know this one, the original Fire Emblem, which was re-released in the US in 2020 initially, but the original one launched in Japan in like 90-something. It's also available on the Switch as its own separate game. But if I were to lose Sane in this next fight, he'd be back the fight after that in this introductory sequence. That's where I was going with this. However, once I've moved out of this and I'm into the main bulk of this story, if Sane goes into combat there and dies, I can't get him again. He won't come back. They didn't give you an option. Even the legendary weapons had limited uses. In the more modern games, you can choose whether or not they live or they die. When I'm going for the story and I want as much out of the story as possible to get the most rich version of the story, I leave it like this prologue here where I tend to leave it like that so I can get the most out of the story. But when I want to test my metal, I put it on pretty much the way the second half of this game plays, which is limited weapons, limited specialty weapons, no reforged capabilities, and characters die. It just depends on whether or not I've beaten the story, how many times I've beaten the story, and which characters I want to learn best. Because some of them I do not care about. I'll sacrifice them and be like, oh no, so sad. But if I want to get the most out of the game, I always try to make sure I have everything set up appropriately. But yeah, there's Kent. Hard to see his face behind my big profile there, but my camera there. But it's a thing. They're both here. What I do like is that they'll double up on one side of the screen, so like they might be two here and then another two here, and then whoever's talking, basically they do that, one of these. Ooh. But yeah. There they are, doubled up. Now, Kent is on top of Sane in the picture, and then Sane will swap back when he talks if he doesn't move to the other side. There's part of his face. Hooray! Ow. Oh, my ear. Yeah, I know Lynn is in Smash Bros. Starting when the assist trophies came in. I think she was in that one. I think she was back when that first happened. If not, I know she's for sure in Ultimate. You can get her occasionally, and she does the whole bam, bam, bam. Oh, hey! Welcome back to the channel, gentleman. But yeah, my nose is itchy. Oh yeah, this is the weapons triangle tutorial. Yeah. It's funny too, because sometimes the face won't change, but the eyes will shift like this way or that way. So like right now, Kent's eyes went from looking towards Lynn, so looking this way, towards the player. Just looks a little awkward. Kind of a thing. Oh. Blue units are, yeah, they're all friendly ones. Oh no. Oh man. Whew. Whew. Which all does make sense. The swords beating axes, axes beating lances, and lances beating swords. Sword is more nimble, so it's easier to maneuver around an axe. Axe can hook onto a lance and break it more easily because an axe is a bigger metal blade. And the lances beat swords because you have the ranged advantage over the sword's range. It's a lot harder to hook things with most swords. Whereas most axes have kind of a wedge head or the heavy weight, and you can just kind of break things. And of course, that is a very big oversimplification. Obviously, that wouldn't always be true. Because it also comes down to the skill of the user and things like that. But, oof. It does make sense. But, you know, there's only so much that can be done. And the game does a good job of dealing with it as well, in the sense of, like, there are lances that outdo axes, so they're called axe reavers. There's a sword in here that's got, like, some extra weight and hooks to it to be able to block a lance more effectively, which allows it to hook onto the lance. And then there's a lance that's got like the specialty prongs on the end to kind of, I know the lance is the weight against the axe. The axe is more bulky to be able to catch a sword blade kind of a thing and make it a sword reaver. And then, of course, there's weapons that specialize against certain opponents, such as you can get the anti-horse lance, which lances were generally used in combat against horses anyways, because horse charge, plant spear, horse hits spear, horse throws rider. Rider probably isn't going to feel good if he survives, and the horse probably wouldn't survive either. Combat sucks. War is violent. And then, yeah, there's the, like, oh, if you stand in a river, you get a reduction to your abilities. I'm trying to, Kent. Stabby, stabby. But yeah, there's a lot of these games do simplify that combat stuff, and it happens. It's just part of the nature. It's just kind of the way it goes, you know? When I was younger and didn't like Sane very much because I thought he was a weird dude, I'd always give him the already used in part vulnerary. Just because I'm like, ew, don't like you. Alright. Attack the dude with an axe at the bottom of a sword-shaped forest. Love it. It's like, legit, that's a sword. Man, Sane is bad at dodging. Let's give him the... Never mind, I was like, let's give him the trees. That'll keep him safe. Oh, the guy. Bandit's dead. I think there's no bonuses for the bridge. One defense bonus in the plains, 2 in forest, 2 in mountains, or 3 in mountains, 0 on the river. Man, I used to know this stuff better. Let's see. Okay, 0 in plains, 1 in forest, 0 on the bridge, 0 on the river, 1 in the mountain for defense. The avoid goes up by 20 and 30. Wall is considered uncontactable. Cliff, lake adds 10 to avoidance if you can go on it, which only... Oh man. Oh, perfect. Stab. Ow. Big step. Sometimes the boss has different statements depending on who you send to fight him. Oh no, you died. Shoot, that's not right here either. He did. And now Kent is a level 2 knight. Yeah, because the general is a foot soldier. Yeah, because Kent's not a knight. The knights are also foot soldiers in this game. And a knight turns into a general. I think they're cavaliers? Oh, man. Oh yeah, I grabbed a new Pokemon, or I finally received a new Pokemon ROM hack called Pokemon Grape. It's a Gen 1 based ROM hack. It's actually not bad. It includes a lot of Pokemon though, so it's pretty fun. And I confirmed that that one does save properly, unlike my yellow. Crystal's not in its case because it's in the GameCube right now. Excuse me. But yeah, after this mission, I'm gonna take a quick pause because I gotta, my neck. Take care of some stuff really quick, and then I'll be back shortly after that. Just want to finish this conversation, basically. Oh, yeah, they're like, oh yeah, we were sent to find the Marquez's daughter, her husband, and the daughter's daughter. Only we found out that they're all dead. And I always screw up this dude's name. I always go Lundgren, like Dolph Lundgren, but it's Lundgren. It just doesn't roll good to me. Yeah, so shit. Okay. I'm gonna pause it right here. And wow, we have a lot of viewers. Welcome, everyone. I'm sorry to pause right as you all join in. You're more than welcome to stay. I'm going to be gone for a split second. I'm going to put it on a little waiting screen. I promise I will be back fast. But thank you all for showing up. I hope you do enjoy this game. It's a big part of my childhood, so I'm more than happy to share it. But yeah, so I will be right back. And I'm back. Sorry to see everybody else left, but it is what it is, unfortunately. Thank you. Excuse me. Do. Gotta love Sacred Journeys. Well, one of the funniest things to me with that kind of that kind of stuff is like that, where saying it's like, oh, how quaint, you go and pray at an altar with a sword, but a lot of the people who will talk down about that, oh shoot, I wasn't done with this one, are the same people who go to a different religious building and pray to their religious icons. It's like, why would you pray to that? Oh my god, that's so weird. Proceeds to pray in front of random effigy of random thing. It's like, did you ever think that to the person you just made fun of, that looks weird? Like, it's one of those things where it's like, hey, let's just all chill. We all have our things. I'll admit some of the names in this game are weird, like this dude here is Glass. Gotta love when people are like, shoulder check. Ah, welcome back everyone. Or welcome if it's your first time. Oh, hang on. Nope, never mind. Thought I was about to sneeze. Fortresses, those are always good. For defense, you have a 0. 2 out the fortress with 2 avoid. No defense bonus, but an extra 10 avoid since you can technically hide indoors. So fortress is just like a forest with 1 more defense. Pillars have 1 defense with more avoid. Oh, pillars are, yeah, pillars are indoor forests. Throne is in 2 defense with 20 of void. So it's the same as a fort. Which they both heal you, so that makes sense. Do. Ah. It's always good, because sometimes they give good information, sometimes they give random information about the map, and other times you just get random lore. The big villages are the ones that usually give better stuff. Pegasi and wyverns. And there we go. Oh. Like that. All 3 of those were perfect examples. Here's a hint about the map. Here's a hint about gameplay. Here's just a random bit of lore. Fun choice. Oh. But yeah, so I don't know how long I'm going to do this one today. Oh, excuse me. But I'll go for a little while at least, because like even this prologue tutorial section does take a little while. Worst case scenario, I might take a pause. I might end this one and then jump another one up in a little bit afterwards. But we will see what we can do. Take that wall. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure it'll go over it. But green glowy names and words and stuff like that, those are items you can loot. Nothing. 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 Well, no. Wait, there's still that many? Oh! So there are 2 inside, and then this dead guy right here. See, now there's no one. Hooray! I don't know why I did that. Because I gotta do that. Ow. So much damage. Too much hurt. So dead. Yeah, that figures. Take advantage of the fact that Ket's using the disadvantaged weapon. Cavalier, yep, they're Cavaliers, and then I forget what their evolved form is. Nope. Ow. Another weird quirk I had as a kid with this game was if I didn't end the mission with all the units at full health, I kept thinking they were going to not be at full health the next time I loaded up a mission. So I would sit here and wait and heal everybody. So as a kid, what I would have done right here is I would have moved Kent onto the throne, let him heal all the way up, moved Lynn onto the throne, let her heal all the way up, and then moved Sane onto the throne. Oh, it's supposed to be glowing yellow. It always looked green to me. Because it looks the same as, like, the health bars down there. Because that's technically all you gotta do. Oh. Sheen, sparkle, sparkle. I also, as a kid, just always imagined that Glass is laying there bleeding out on the floor, dying, and then just watches this random girl draw the sword, and he's just like, well, fuck. Something about that to me was always funny. Excuse me. Oh, I think I skipped it instead of going forward. Basically, they're like, wow, it's not uncommon for you to see Sacred Blades getting drawn. But yeah. Sorry, got a bug in here. I think I missed it though. Alright. Now my wrist. I'll do this one because this will be the 4th battle. And then once this one's done, I'm gonna end the stream for this game. Take a quick break to grab something to eat because it is mealtime where I'm at. And then when I come back, I'm gonna load up an online game that I have. And just kind of goof around in that for a little bit and see how that goes. But yeah, we'll I'm gonna go ahead and skip this because they're just talking about how the bandits are like wrecking everything. This dude's mad because she accidentally hit him in the head with her Pegasus. She's friends with Lynn. Right. And character recruitment song. So it talks about, for this one it's talking about bows are good for indirect combat, but bows are good against Pegasi because you shoot it and then the Pegasus comes down to the ground. Oh man. So that means that the best way to beat an archer is to get right up in their face and go stabby stabby. Look at that, I got 2 stabs in on him from Kent. Oh no, 1 damage. Units like Pegasi and Wyverns are weak to bows because of their flying ability. That's all that was saying. Stabby. And stabby. Back. And boom. You can also get gold, spell, direct items. So you can sometimes get spell books, weapons, things like that. Villages will always give you something more than just info. Hit! I love when that happens. That's one of the reasons I like generals so much, is that since most of the enemies from the point you get your first general onward are melee enemies, almost none of them can hurt him. You have to have a steel lance, or steel weapon, or silver weapon. Those are the only weapons that can actually, like, genuinely ruin their day. For the melee weapons. However, the downfall on that is all of the guys like the General, the Knight, and the evolved version of the Horseman, which is basically a mounted, less bulky armored, but still armored up version of the General. They're incredibly weak to magic damage because they have a harder time dodging it. It's not that they can't, it's just that it's really hard. Yeah, I'm not moving sane. I'm gonna plant her on the wall. Stab. Once that archer's dead, I can send her out to go after the swordsman. Of course. That was 2 good hits, though. And fatal damage. Lance. Stab. And then another thing with Florina is not only is she terrified of bows because of what it would do to her horse, she's terrified of men. Yeah, that was the right option. However, if you're playing as a male, you're the only one that she's like okay with, only because Lynn trusts you. Otherwise, she's like, no. Nah, this is a no. Wouldn't have done any damage anyways. Because Kent specializes with sword combat, Sane specializes with spear combat. Which means that Sane with a lance or any form of spear is actually better at combat than he is with a sword. Simply because that's his specialty. Each character has their own weapons that they prefer, and it shows in their stat blocks when you look at them. Let me see if I can pull that up really quick. Left bumper. Weapon support level. So here you have like E, D, C, B, A, and S. So as you can see, Sane here is an E with a spear, D with a lance, D with swords, D with bows, D with spears, D with sword, E with lance. In order to have them get better, you know, you just kind of... You just have them repeatedly use it. You know, like how you would do it in real life. Oh, you want to get better? You have to try harder. Step. And then I do love that there's certain rules in the game. Like, for the most part, a lot of the characters are obviously male. Some of them are obviously female. Good job. Work on beefing up them lance points. Ugh. But, a lot of the times it's just like the face that gets changed. But when it comes to like... Oop, didn't mean to do that. Lore reasons for it. They usually come up with some pretty interesting ones, like, oh, the reason that this class is always like drawn like this is because it was easier to draw in reality, but in game we'll say it's because it only works with them. So like the Pegasus Riders, they're all women by nature, because Pegasi are more trusting of women. That's legitimately the in-universe reason for why. This is what I was talking about earlier with the like specialty conversations. He's just so dumb. Luckily, he only gets one hit. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to use Florina for anything else. Since he's guaranteed both of his hits, Miguel is dead. Ow. Oof. Boom, Sane levels up. Yeah, so basically, oh, you're more worried. I'm worried about you because you're so fragile and this and that and the other. I vibe with Kent in that moment right there. I mean, look at that. Look at that face. Right there. Right there. That is a mood for what goes on here. Because she's afraid of this guy because he's an archer and a guy. She's even more afraid of him because, well, I mean... yeah. Need I say more? So, I'm going to go ahead and save. And then I'm going to get some dinner, and then I will be back with another game. Different game. But thank you guys for coming in on this one. Has been a lot of fun. I will be coming back on in just a little bit with a game that I thought would be lost forever but hasn't been. And so we will see you then in probably an hour-ish at most, I would think. All right. Have a good one, guys.